Now that you know how to organize your Army, Navy, and Air Force, you'll probably want to know how to declare a war. There are a number of ways depending on your country and ruling political party, and we're going to cover most of those here. Most often, the typical way to declare a war starts with justifying it to your people. You can use the Justify War Goal option by clicking another country and selecting that from their diplomatic menu to start the process. The amount of political power you need and how long it takes to complete the justification will depend on your specific war goal and how much territory you intend to take. Why not justify on one province and take their whole country anyway? Well, you absolutely can, but your relations with other countries will suffer from your aggressive expansion. Keep in mind that some ideologies don't even let you begin this justification process until world tension is at least a certain amount. I'm looking at you, democracy. There's also certain national focuses, events, or decisions that can give you an immediate war goal to simulate historical tensions. You'll learn more about these as you play, and probably won't be surprised by them if you're familiar with World War II history. No matter how you get your war goal, once you have it, you can use the diplomacy screen again, and finally click that Declare War button you've been eyeing ever since you got your military set up the way you wanted. After declaring war, or if war was declared on you, you can click the We Are at War notification, and this again cannot be dismissed. This will show you your overall losses, who's on each side of the conflict, and the specifics of each participating country. If one of your allies is not in the war, you can call them into the conflict from here, and believe me, the AI will do so repeatedly if you are not involved in their wars. Countries are defeated when they control less than 20% of the total victory points, typically major, and this can be modified by their stability and national spirits as well. The blue bar for each country shows what proportion of their victory points are controlled by them directly or by their allies, and the red shows how much is controlled by their enemies. Countries with the gold border are major powers in the conflict, and once the last major power on a side is defeated, all of the minors will surrender as well. Tuva isn't going to keep fighting after Russia collapses after all. When the last major power has been defeated, the game will automatically pause and show the peace conference screen. Here each country can normally spend points based on its participation in the war to make demands for the conquered territory, liberating it, turning them into a puppet, or annexing it entirely. With the player-led peace conferences mod, only human players get to participate in this process, and AI countries get nothing. Yes, it's cheating, and yes, it's more fun. The buttons at the top left of the screen select the type of demand, and the territory at the bottom left shows where you want to make that demand. You can index individual states, for example, but puppeting applies to the entire country. You can also choose to pass to generate more points for later in the round. After all player participants have made their choices, peace conference is over and the territory changes hands. You click Confirm and Exit, and now we can see that all of Ethiopia is now Italy. We skipped talking about intelligence agencies in any detail earlier because you can absolutely play the game and ignore them entirely. However, if you have the free civilian factories and you want to engage in another layer of the game, you can start your own spy group. Click the Intelligence Agency button, and then click Create Agency, and this will let you start your agency. You can pick a name and an icon, defaulted to historical versions, and after 30 days you have a new thing to keep track of. Once your agency is founded, it will start recruiting spies. After 30 more days, you'll be prompted to pick a new spy from the list, each with its own starting level and traits that depend on your technology and agency branches. Once your agency is complete, you can also research new branches for your agency by clicking them, and then selecting one of these options, locate 5 civilian factories, and continue to research that option. The agency branch upgrades are broken into 5 categories. Intelligence upgrades allow you to see more about your enemy's country. Defense upgrades prevent the effectiveness of enemy spies and resistance from occupied territories. Operations unlock new upgrades and new orders for your spies. Operative training modifies what traits your new spies might start with. And Cryptology department allows you to try to decipher enemy encryptions and gain significant bonuses to intelligence as a result. Nuclear weapons and rockets are late-game options for research and firepower. Nuclear weapons require you to first construct at least one nuclear reactor to produce the material needed to make bombs. You can do that from the construction screen and selecting nuclear reactor. And once you have at least one bomb, which is 1 per year per reactor, you can attempt a nuclear strike on a province. This requires you to have at least one strategic bomber so you can get the bomb to the target, and have air superiority in that region. And once you do, and you're at war with that target, you can drop a nuclear bomb by clicking the button on the province. When you click that button, 12 hours later, you'll see a mushroom cloud in that province, as we'll see here in just a moment. And you'll probably get some kind of news message for the first atomic bomb being used. When the nuclear bomb is detonated, units in the province take a random amount of damage, but will not be destroyed or lose entrenchment. All province buildings get reduced to 0 hit points. All state buildings take a random amount of damage. All aircraft in the province are destroyed. The victim loses up to 20% war support, and Japan has specific effects from being nuked twice to represent their historical decisions. Rockets add guided missiles, and they produce their own. These are used like disposable strategic bombers to attack enemy targets. For many players, researching rockets is simply a prerequisite for researching jet engines in the late game, as the rocket sites themselves are something of an afterthought. That concludes our tutorial on Hearts of Iron 4. There is a ton of information we did not cover. Hopefully you did find this helpful, at least in learning how the basic game works and what some of the options are. Good luck, and good hunting.